It was the crime that shocked the nation. Viral footage of eco-activist Maddie Budd pouring faeces over memorial dedicated to Captain Sir Tom Moore showcased the despicable depth Green protesters are willing to lower themselves in order to promote their message. Maddie's soiling of Captain Tom's statue was apparently in the name of ending private jets in the UK, although the national hero's link to that particular crusade remains glaringly unclear. What was equally shocking was the way she avoided jail despite pleading guilty to criminal damage. The judge suspended Maddie's 21-week jail term for 18 months so she can, quote, find a better way to express her message. A woke judge, I believe. So what do you think? Should Maddie have been sent to prison? Let me know your thoughts by emailing me at dan@gbnews.uk. Tweet me at GBNews. I'm running a poll there and I'll bring you the results shortly. But before that, Maddie, a spokesperson for End UK Private Jets, joins me for an exclusive interview, her first since she walked free from court last week. And in a few moments, she'll go head-to-head with former police officer and ex-UKIP leader Henry Bolton. But first, though, Maddie, I just want to try and make some sense of your actions, because Captain Tom Moore has absolutely nothing to do with private jets in the UK. Why did you want to cause his family all of that pain?
I did this to expose a horrible truth to the British public.
But what does Captain Tom Moore have to do with that, Maddie?
Well, everyone is too scared to admit it, but the horrible truth is that the UK public not only likes war, but wants more war to happen.
War?
Yeah, the UK public is sitting by right now while climate change gets worse and worse, and climate change means war. Climate change. Well,
it doesn't. It doesn't. That's hysterical. But your campaign, I believe, was to stop private jets. Now, answer me this question. Has Captain Tom Moore ever flown on a private jet?
I don't believe he has, no.
So why on earth target this man?
Well, I think that, like most of the British public, he was a really, really amazing man. I think that he stood up for this nation. I think he stood up for the healthcare service. And I think that people need to start taking seriously the fact that this, all those things that he stood for are
so
being
why target Tom Moore? You're not making any sense.
Well, I just want people to act to protect their children. And seemingly it's really hard to make that happen.
But Maddie, lots of celebrities do take private jets. Why not protest Taylor Swift or Prince Harry or Leonardo DiCaprio? Do you see what I'm saying? Your protest, the target of your protest has never taken a private jet. So what you're doing actually makes no sense.
Yeah, the reality is that right now, the British public kind of has a choice, you know. We're basically in, I mean, you could say this is kind of like 1940s Germany right now,
no,
in terms of the fact that,
no, we're not.
In
Maddie.
terms of the fact that billions of people are going to die. And
no, they're not, Maddie.
And they have a choice. They have a choice between...
You're being hysterical, Maddie. I feel for you because you're being hysterical. If you genuinely believe what you're saying, you haven't looked at the facts. The UK is already doing more, actually, than any other G7 nation to get to net zero. But look, where I do think, Maddie, you could have a point is these celebrities who preach about the green agenda and then go and take private jets. I've just named a few of them for you. Prince Harry, Leonardo DiCaprio, the Kardashians, Taylor Swift. Why don't you go and target those folk and leave the memory of Captain Tom Moore alone?
Yeah, if I thought that would get people to care about their children enough to get into resistance, then I would try doing that.
Are your family proud of what you did, Maddie?
I think that the shame that they feel is coming from the fact that they can't handle the truth, basically, that they're sitting
So they're
by
ashamed of you for what you did?
They're sitting by while the planet that I'm inheriting is being destroyed.
OK, but your family is ashamed by your actions?
I don't know.
I think they should be. And I think it's very good if they are, because the judge was very weak on you. Personally, I think you should have been made an example of. I believe you should be behind bars, because what you did was criminal, wanton damage, actually. And I think it's despicable. And I know it left Tom Moore's family feeling incredibly upset. I want to bring Henry Bolton in now. Henry, how do you respond to Maddie Budd?
Well, Dan, point number one, as a former police officer, I have arrested people, charged them, and they've gone to jail, they've been prosecuted, they've gone to court, they've been prosecuted, and they have gone to jail for very much the same thing that Maddie's done.
So you think Maddie should be behind bars?
I think, yes, she should. And I tell you what, either she should maybe go on a flight to Rwanda and reflect on things there, or she should actually go to jail for 4 months or so. I think there's three things. First of all, community service to clean up the mess. OK, it might be only an hour or two. Secondly, pay for cleaning up the mess. And thirdly, go to jail for about 4 months in order to reflect on what she's done and whether or not it's the right way to get her a message across, because all it's done is raise people's hackles, raise animosity, and actually damage her message. What she actually needs to do, Maddie, if I can give you a little bit of advice, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be patronising, but I, after many years abroad, trying to deal with all sorts of instability, insecurity and God knows what, I came back to this country and I thought, you know what, there's a real mess going on here. I'm going to get involved in politics and I am going to try to change and shape the future.
Exactly, set up a political party, Maddie. I don't know if you've realised, Maddie, we live in a strong democratic country. Maddie, just finally, what would you say to the family of Captain Tom Moore tonight?
I would say that I try to get the UK public to care about their children. I try to show them this horrible truth. And
Maddie, sorry, Dan, if I can interrupt briefly. I find it incredibly arrogant of you to sit there and say that the British public doesn't care about their children. That's an appalling thing to say. It is not that. It is that there's a whole range of problems in our society and we need to tackle them through reasonable, justifiable debate, not conduct or commit criminal damage without any rationale for why you've actually targeted the person you've targeted. That's not the way to go forward.
Well, no, indeed. And Maddie, this woke judge let you off the hook. He suspended your jail term. Are you going to now continue your campaign of willful criminal damage?
I think that the only people that I would say sorry to is the children being born into collapse, and I think that we don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take, but I'm...
So, yes, you are going to continue to break the law? You're going to continue to break the law?
I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop.
Goodness me.
I'm not going to stop.
Goodness me.
Join the Green Party and do this another way.
Yeah, I think you may well end up in jail, Maddie, because if you get a non-woke judge like Henry, you might well be in trouble. Thank you so much to the former UKIP leader, Henry Bolton, and Just Stop Private Jet spokesperson, Maddie Budd. So who do you agree with? Should the eco-activist who threw faeces over that memorial of Captain Tom have been sent to prison? Linda on email says, how bloody dare she do that? I doubt Captain Tom ever took a private plane. The only plane he might have flown in was the one to fight the Germans so she could be free. She should have been sent to prison. From Paul, yes, she should, but we're too soft in this country. And Richard says, no, prison is going too far, but 6 months community service cleaning public toilets and blocked drains might be more useful to society, as they obviously don't mind the smell. And your verdict is now in. 92% of you agree that Maddie should have been jailed. Just 8% of you agreeing with the woke judge.